Alright, and welcome back to the Three Children of Trouble. The rest of the party has gone on, but Heath is joining me this evening, and we're going to find out what happened to Alasdair, why he suddenly disappeared, and what he's going to do from there. Where we pick up, Alasdair has been walking down the stairs with a group of friends into the oubliette, and while in the middle of walking down, he suddenly loses all of his friends. They just disappear. Or maybe it's Alasdair that disappeared. You find yourself in the chamber that you are walking down into. It's a rather small chamber, all things considered. There seems to be a heavy wooden iron-bound wooden door to your north. A smooth wall to your east, south an open passageway, and west an open passageway. Your companions have disappeared completely, and you cannot see, hear, nor smell them. In fact, you can't really see, hear, nor smell much other than the smooth gray walls of the room.
Do I sense any demons nearby?
There aren't any demons that you can feel, though that kind of makes sense. If what the guard at the top of the stairs said was true, you might be dealing with spectral enemies rather than umbral enemies down here.
All right. Well, heroes go right, and I'm a big damn hero, so I'll go turn right down this hallway.
All right. You make your way down to the floor of the chamber, move off to the right to take a look, and you see a long hall. It's a smooth gray stone. It's actually a little strange. It doesn't look like any real stone that you've ever had to deal with. The walls are the same smooth gray. So is the ceiling of the chamber. You can see that the hallway that you're heading down tees at the end.
I'll reach out and touch the wall, see what it feels like.
It feels, well, too smooth. There's no texture. There's no grade. You've smashed a demon's head against a wall before, a wall of stone. You've seen how it grates the skin right off, but there's no texture.
I'll take a very careful step forward, worrying that I'm going to go slipping and sliding like on ice.
You press your foot down into the hallway, but the sound that you expect from your clomp has been completely absent since you stepped down into the oubliette, and the same is true in this hall. You're not echoing, you're not making any heavy footfall sounds. It sounds very muted, as if whatever sound you're making is falling down a deep well. But when you step into the hall, nothing untoward happens. Nothing jumps out at you.
Curious. I'll scratch my head and then rear back and take a big whack at the wall with my spiked basher. Is there any sound to it?
Well, roll your strength as a damage roll. With a great and mighty swing of your club, you slam it into the wall. There isn't a huge sound. There is a sound as your club makes impact with the wall, but it sounds odd. It's not what you would expect from a wall hitting stone, or the spiked basher hitting stone. And fragments chip off and flutter about, but they sort of disintegrate, leaving only the impact point, a shatter pattern on the wall, but no debris.
I'm going to roll an intelligence check. Have I ever seen anything like this before or heard of anything like this before?
Okay, well, you've not seen anything like this before. It's outside of your personal experience. However, you do recall a story that one of those wild elf chaps told you when you were drinking together in a bar in Garnet State. The wild elves are well known for taking copious amounts of herbs in various different methods, and some tend to think them insane. Yet, from your experience, there are little gems of truth hidden inside their insanity. This particular wild elf was a shaman, and he talked about stepping sideways into different planes of existence. The two primary separate planes of existence from the physical one, to be precise, the spectral and the umbral plane. He mentioned that in other worlds, inside these other planes, these other dimensions, the physical reality doesn't work the same way as it does in the real world. Sound is different. There is really nothing to smell. The texture is wrong. Physicality is off. You think maybe you might have ended up in a different plane.
Well, that would make sense if they're trying to keep spectral baddies from getting to everyone else. All right. So I'll tread carefully and assume that things aren't necessarily going to work like they should. And I'll creep up here to the junction and take a look up and down.
All right. You head down the hall and take a look to your right. And you see that the hall goes down for a little ways, a few meters, and then curves off to the left. When you look to the left, you see that the hallway goes on for quite a ways before somewhat terminating. But there does seem to be a crossroads down this path.
This way first.
You head to the north, taking a right, and you come around the corner of the L to find a really short passageway that also tees off.
Here, baddies. Come for your bashin'.
You step out into the T intersection, and you see that to the south, the passageway goes off a few meters and then just sort of cuts off in a cul-de-sac. To the north, however, it continues on for a few meters and then seems to turn to the left.
And there's nothing along the walls at all, any adornments or wall or doors or windows or anything at all. It's all just smooth stone.
Absolutely. There aren't even any drawings, like nobody took chalk and drew on the walls. It's smooth, completely featureless. You head up to the north, come around the corner at the top there, and you see that this passage actually comes to a dead end, but there is another passage leading north.
All right. Maybe now I'll finally find someone to bash.
You head on there, look up, you see a short passageway that leads up to a rather large room that you can't see all of it from where you're standing.
All right. Rooms are good. Rooms could be cells with baddies to bash.
You step up into the room, and it is empty. large and empty. There is, however, something strange in this room. Right in the center, there seems to be a purple glowy thing. It's a bit ephemeral. It's not very tangible. It doesn't seem very solid. Definitely not as solid or real as the rest of the walls.
I'll approach it, start walking around it, peering inside.
Okay. You approach the purple glowy thing, examining it. Go ahead and roll your vision.
What is that?
Wisdom, plus any bonuses you have in your eyesight, which I believe being Eldar, you have 1.
I have perfect day vision. Does that give me a bonus? I don't remember.
No. No, that just declares what light you require in order to see. But there's a senses column underneath your stats that should have sight, hearing, sense of smell, that sort of thing.
Looking for the senses tab. I vaguely remember such a thing, and now I can't find it. Yeah, I see it, and that's all empty. I don't know why.
Ah! Well, you should have 1 in your vision.
Okay.
And that is a +1 die to your wisdom roll in order to see.
There we go.
You peer at the strange purple object, and as you do, it seems to gain a little bit more clarity. It's vaguely elf-shaped, though far too large to be an elf. Probably about 8 feet tall. Definitely over 2 meters in height. It's got a very large torso with large arms, vaguely a head shape at the top, and very small legs, if they are legs. They're kind of formed together there at the bottom. It's not quite here, though it doesn't really seem to be quite anywhere. A bit in stasis, perhaps?
Does it look like it's aware of me at all?
No. It seems to be staring straight ahead, though you cannot really make out any eye holes or glowy orbs or anything that might be eyes in the head.
As I move around it in a circle, does it track me at all? Does it move at all with me?
Its head does not shift. Its neck does not move.
There's nothing else in this room?
There does not appear to be.
Does it look like any of the baddies, the dangerous baddies that were described to me?
No. The ones that the head guardian described were a large bear, a large bat, a large tiger, and a moon elf serial killer. This does not appear to be any of those.
Okay, well, most important thing now is finding one of those things to bash or finding my friends. So this doesn't appear to be a threat to me or anyone else, so I'll just leave it be and head on out of this area.
Okay. As you head out of the chamber, heading to the south, you hear a noise much farther down the hall, back in the direction in which you came.
I'm sorry, what was that?
You hear a noise back in the direction where you came from, back down the hall.
Okay. I will hustle down to the corner here and then peer around quickly, see if I see anything.
You hurry down to the corner, peer around to the right to see what you can see, and you see, standing calmly in the center of the aisle, a young boy. He appears to be a moon elf? Blue-skinned, anyway. He's wearing simple garments, and he's staring up at you as if he expects to see you.
Oi! Do you be a real boy? What are you doing in a place like this?
The boy does not respond. Instead, he just looks at you quizzically, and then turns around and starts walking to the south. He doesn't make any sound as he walks.
I will follow.
As you follow, you notice that in addition to not making any sound as he walks, he's not really making any sound at all. There's no swish of cloth when he moves. There's no sound of breath. He continues around the corner and looks back as if to see whether or not you're going to follow.
All right, I'll keep following him.
Seemingly satisfied that you do so, he continues around the corner and back towards that initial room that you came from.
Okay.
Once there, he makes his way to the northern door, the iron-bound wood, wraps fingers around the handle and tugs, but it does not move.
You want me to open that, son?
He looks back at you and then nods, stepping out of the way.
I'll give it a tug.
You step up to the door, spit on both your hands, rub them together, grab hold of the handle, and tug! Roll your strength. It is a mighty heave. Were you in the physical world, you're fairly certain that you could have pulled that door right off its hinges. Yet, despite the amount of force that you feel in your shoulders and your arms and your hands as you tug on the door, you can't seem to make it budge. It doesn't even move. It doesn't creak. It doesn't groan. You don't feel the locks shifting in the handle. Nothing.
I poke at the door with my hand. Does it feel substantial?
It does. It does. Solid. Though, as with the rest, it doesn't seem to have any texture. It looks like it should. It does seem to be wood, or at least looks to be wood, but it's not really. It's whatever smooth substance the walls are made of.
Well, I'll look down at the kid and say, any other bright ideas?
Looks this way and that, large, soulful blue eyes peering around at the floors and the ceiling and the walls, and then makes as if to sigh, but no sound comes out. And then he brightens up and points to your club, the Spiked Basher.
A lad after me own heart. I'll raise it up and I'll give it the door a whack.
Roll your strength or damage. You set yourself up to swing, and with a mighty whoosh, you slam the spike basher into the door. It does make sound. There's a crack and a creak and a bang and a clang. Pieces and fragments of it splinter away and dissolve into nothing. The door is still there, but it knows it's been kissed. There was a rather large-sized dent in the center.
With a mighty laugh, I say, "Now we're on to something," and I swing again.
Roll your strength damage. All right. You hit it again with another massive swing. This feels satisfying. These strange walls and lack of anyone to talk to or things to bash has made you a little bit antsy. So being able to smash something is rather nice. And it makes very satisfying sounds when you strike it. The second time, you see fragments of it smash into a hallway beyond. The doorway is still there, or the door is still there, I'm sorry, but it's looking very fragile at the moment.
One good whack oughta do ya. Oh, that was horrible.
Maybe it's because you've already put a large dent in it. Maybe it's because you've got fragments and pieces of it sticking this way and that, but you don't really get a very solid whack on it the third time. Thankfully, you've already done sufficient damage to the door to make it too fragile to exist past that sort of half-hearted swing. The spike basher goes right through the door, and the rest of the fragments disintegrate into nothing. The boy makes as if to clap, but again, no sounds come out. You can see a rather gloomy hall beyond. You can't see the full length of it, but you can see that it comes to a cross intersection to the north.
Alright, I'll step on through. Alright, son, now what am I doing in here?
The boy follows, but you can tell that he's a bit more reluctant to do so, as if he might be afraid of what's in these halls. You make your way to the intersection, and you see there's a hallway that goes off to your left. It terminates after about 6 meters, curving to the north. Off to your right, there is another hall with a passageway leading south and a passageway leading north. And to your north, you see the entrance to a rather large chamber.
Let's check this out first.
Okay. The boy continues after you, but the further you get in, the further back he seems to get. When you step into the large chamber, you find that it is a rather big room, bigger even than the one where you saw the purpley thing. Oh, come on, pay attention. There we are. Silly device. This one has a passageway off to the left. It is not enclosed here. It is not dead end. You can see that it's about 7 by 7 meters, all told. And inside the chamber, you see something truly interesting. There is a bear spirit. It is looking around. It does not seem very aggressive. It's made of a purplish translucent, purplish translucent substance. And it's got strange whitish rune markings on the surface of its fur, skin. It's looking at you kind of quizzically.
Do you be the big, bad, evil bear I was warned about?
Bears don't normally respond to that question, but this one does. It looks at you and it says, "You were warned about me?"
Couple of bonny lasses upstairs said to be wary of a big bear, a big bat, a big tiger, and some crazy lass who done likes to kill menfolk.
"I see," says the bear. "Are you a foe, then?"
I reckon that's up to you, Mr. Bear. Right now I'm just looking for me friends who seem to have lost their way.
The bear seems a little confused. I have been bound for so very long. I'm not sure what to do with you, if you are not a foe. But I can tell you, I have not seen your friends, he says, though he still seems to be rather confused.
All right then, I'll be on my way. Sorry to trouble you, son.
Where do you go? The bear moves a little bit closer. And you actually hear its movement, not just the muted sounds that your own footsteps make, but actual reverberating sounds, almost real sounds.
I'll back off down the hallway. Just gonna wander about a bit more, see if I can't find me friends.
The bear seems a little saddened, if a purple translucent bear can be sad. But it just sits down on its haunches and does not pursue you. Back in the hallway, you find the boy has moved to the corner and is just sort of peering around it at you. Well, and the bear beyond.
All right, which way?
The boy looks thoughtful, glancing this way and that. And then he turns and heads off to the east, seeming to be happy to be leaving the area where the bear is at. Once you get down near the end of the hall, and you see that the passageway leading south is a rather short one, only a couple of meters. And it ends with a little greenish glowy thing on the ground.
Step up and take a close look.
It seems to be the outline of some sort of plate on the floor. It doesn't really appear to be here any more than the bear really appeared to be here, or the purpley mass inside the chamber appeared to be here. But it seems like the sort of thing that someone might step on.
Hey, you, lad, what's that?
The boy peers around the corner, looking down where you were gesturing. And then he shrugs and shakes his head.
Alright, then on we go. Not me friends, not me foes, don't care.
He shrugs again and continues up towards the north. You find yourself at a small junction of passageways, one leading off to your right and one heading up to the north for several meters.
Alright, which way does he go?
Boy considers both pathways and then heads to the north.
Alright, at this point I'm just following him.
Okay. He heads around the corner and stops in the center of the hallway. What you see is the entrance to a chamber, though this entrance seems to be filled with a sort of viscous black fluid of some kind. You can tell that it is supposed to be an entrance. It is quite different from the walls around it, but you're not sure if anything can pass through it.
In there, I ask, pointing to the strange passage.
The boy nods.
I poke at the strange fluidy stuff with my spiked basher.
When you press your spiked basher into it, it causes ripples to echo outward from the point of impact, and your club feels heavier. The tip begins to pull down towards the ground.
Oh, might as well. I'll take a deep breath, hold my breath, and then just step through.
It's a bit like stepping through snot, you might think. A big old wall of snot.
Lovely.
It seems gooey, but it doesn't really adhere to you at all. It tugs at you, it slows you down, it fights against your movement forward, but it doesn't stop you and it doesn't stick to you. You finally make it through, pop open your eyes, and find yourself in a chamber. The chamber is roughly 5 by 5 meters. And there are strange rune markings and carvings all over the purple walls and purple stone floor. Most importantly, as soon as you step into this chamber, you start hearing your own footfalls properly.
Nothing else in the room besides the carvings and etchings on the wall?
There seems to be a stone. Roll your vision. There's a little purple stone on the ground.
Move up to investigate.
It's amethyst, maybe, or one of those other purple-colored stones. But it's the only oddity in the room besides all of the different rune markings and carvings and everything all over the floors and walls. Every surface of this chamber seems to be covered in those markings. It's definitely a perfect gemstone. It has never been cut or tampered with, pulled directly from the ground, perhaps. It is loose and just lying on the floor.
Are the carvings legible? Are they in any kind of language? Or are they pictographs?
It seems to be some sort of arcane carvings. There are a bunch of symbols and geometric shapes all over the place. There's no real writing, but there might be some form of pictograph, some form of imagery. It's difficult to interpret, though.
I'll study them for a while and see if I can discern their general meaning or purpose.
Why don't you roll your...
That was my intelligence roll.
Your intelligence. Got it, okay. Ooh, and that one drops it to 27. You peer at all the strange markings. They're pretty strange, those markings. For some reason, they make you think of... after a long night of drinking, waking up in the constable's personal Alasdair ready chamber, the prison cell that you sometimes find yourself in when you wake up after a long night of drinking.
I'm about ready to bash this gym and be done with it. I see nothing else to do here. Come on now, what's the point? I will pick up the gym and peer into it.
You pick it up, and as soon as you do, you feel a strange thrum of power course through your hand and up your arm. Makes you feel a little bit like that one time a martial artist punched you in the shoulder and you couldn't feel your hand for a few minutes. It's a bit numb, but tingly. Peering into the gem, you don't see anything. It's just a stone, or it looks just like just a stone. It doesn't feel like just a stone.
Oh, you bloody hell. I do not ken what's going on. I'll try and walk back out with the stone in hand.
Okay. You turn around to look in the direction that you came, and you do not find a black wall there. You are able to walk straight through into the hall outside.
Is the spectral boy still sitting there?
He is still standing there, but he's completely translucent. You can see straight through him. He's staring at you, but there seems to be a small smile on his face.
I'll hold up the amethyst. Is this what you wanted?
He nods. You realize something very strange then. The floors here, and the walls, and the ceiling, they're all purple. They aren't gray, and they've got texture, and they look like stone.
Well, what's the point of this? How does this help me?
He points past you, and presumably in the direction of the big chamber with the bear.
Alright. Why do I feel like I'm walking into a trap? I'll walk all the way back around here. Oi! Does this mean anything to you? And hold up the amethyst.
You come all the way around, and enjoying the novelty of having an actual floor and walls with texture and stone and sounding proper. And you step into the chamber, but instead of a translucent purple bear with strange white rune markings on it, you find a rather large white polar bear. There are deep burn marks, brands across its skin that seem to be in the same shape as the rune markings that you saw on the surface of the translucent purple bear. Its eyes are glowing purple, and it looks at you, then raises up on its hind paws and bellows a challenge. But when you hold up the purple stone and say, does this mean anything to you? The bear stops, drops back down to all four, and then lowers its snout to the floor almost as if bowing.
Does this make me the boss of this place?
The bear does not answer, but it does seem to think that you are the boss of it, at least.
Alright. Take a step inside the room. What's it do?
It stays with its snout lowered to the floor.
Alright. Keeping an eye on it, I'll walk up to here.
It turns to follow you, looking in your direction, but it makes no threatening moves. You see a pathway leading to a chamber. And stepping into the chamber, you find a decently large chamber, not quite as big as the one you were just in. And there is a mural of strange language and pictures all over the northern wall. They seem to be moon elf in nature.
What does the mural portray?
It shows a rather large bear. And it shows three women, at least you assume those robed figures are women, or are supposed to be women, standing before the bear, and one of them is holding a purple light of some kind. Now, there are probably instructions in that strange language, but you cannot read them.
Alright.
As you head away from the mural, the bear follows you into the chamber, surprisingly able to squeeze its massive frame through the small passageway. You see to the south, the passageway that you are approaching leads right back down to the place where you came.
Alright. Alright, I'm going to head all the way down the hall to here and look and see what's down this way. Does the bear continue to follow?
The bear does continue to follow, doing the best it can in the rather close confines of the halls. You see down the passageway to its end, where it curves up to your left, to the north.
Alright. I'm going in circles here.
It does appear that way.
And I haven't had a stiff drink in about an hour, so I'm getting cranky.
And you realize that it is just one large circle around that prison chamber. Or
I'll come stomping around the corner in a huff. Is the spectral boy still there?
Yes.
What is the bloody point?
He points to the bear behind you.
Aye.
And then he points to the chamber where you had found the gemstone.
Alright. I'll walk down in here. Does the bear follow me?
The bear follows you in.
Alright. Step out. Stay! Stay!
The bear sits down and looks at you. Purple eyes glowing.
Alright, now what? Do I hold on to this thing or what?
As you step out of the chamber, looking at the boy, asking the question, a door sort of forms out of nothing over the entrance to the prison and seals shut with a single spot open right in the center that is about the same shape as the gem that you have in your hand.
Alright, I'll stick it in that slot.
The door disappears, and the gem falls back into your hand.
Yeah, okay. Come back, door! Poof!
You withdraw the gemstone, and the door reappears.
Alright. Look down at the boy. So he's stuck in there now, right?
The boy nods.
What do I do with this?
He shrugs and shakes his head.
Well, aren't you helpful? Well, fine, I got the bear back, but now where are me friends?
He taps a finger against his ethereal lip, and then, with a puzzled expression, points vaguely southwest.
Is not tremendously helpful. Alright. I'll start walking back down that way.
The boy follows you, moving at a seemingly slower pace and yet keeping up with you easily.
Alright, I'll move back down to this passageway here.
Unfortunately, once you move down into this hall, you come to realize that the door is still there.
Huh.
The heavy, iron-bound wooden door is there again. Not damaged, not broken, and not disappeared.
Can I grab hold of it this time?
You can grab hold of it. It is physical. It is right in front of you.
Well, let's see if I can tug it loose this time.
You wrap your meaty hands around it. Brace your shoulders and your feet and heave! You hear a clatter and a creak as the wood and the iron protest your massive strength. The door does not open, however. You see, there appears to be a bolt mechanism of some kind that is engaged. Just beneath the handle.
Oh, well, why didn't you say so in the first place? I'll flip the bolt.
You flip the bolt. You hear a crank and a click sound. The bolt draws back. And the door seems to be loose.
Uh-oh, there's a thing there.
I know.
Who are you?
You open the door and see, standing, leaning mostly against the wall, right there at the foot of the stairs, pointing a rather vicious-looking spear with a dangling standard on it in your direction, is a star elf woman with very long silver hair that's tipped in black. She looks like she's been chewed up and spit out. There's blood all over her armor. She's obviously been grievously injured in battle. And she's staring at you, wavering a little bit on her feet. "Who are you?" she asks.
I'm the big damn hero what's been brought in to save this place. You don't look so great.
Big damn hero?
Aye.
Are you with the other three then?
Oh, you seen three others?
Yes, they came upon me where I fell in battle and brought me back here to wait until they could uncover more. How did you get inside the purple halls? This door was locked.
Ah, no luck can withstand me spiked basher. In fact, I find most things can be settled with me spiked basher.
She looks this way and that, as if trying to figure out how you managed to bash open the door while it was still there and locked.
Anyway, can you make it back to the top yourself, or are you just going to wait here?
The door to the oubliette has been closed. I will wait here until you're finished dealing with the prisoner.
All right. Now, where are me mates?
I sent them to collect charms to ward against magic and try and recover the elemental that guards this floor.
All right. Which way?
To the west. And take a left once you get there, down to the crossroads.
I'll look back behind me. Is the translucent boy still there?
Yes, and he's smiling a little bit, but he has not come down further down the hall.
Hey, you coming or not?
He shakes his head and waves at you.
All right, suit yourself. Thanks, I guess, and I'll shut the door.
You shut the door as the Star Elf woman tries to peer beyond, a little confused as to who you're talking to. The door closes with a rattle.
All right, then. I'll head off in the direction she indicated.
Okay. You head off to the west, make your way to the T intersection. And that's when you hear a rumbling sound from the north. And a great voice, a deep, massive voice, proclaims, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the..." Wait, that's the wrong line. "I'm ready to serve you, master."
I look back behind me. Oi! You're talking to me?
There is no immediate response. And I believe we can call it there, because that catches you up with them.
Alright then. That's just about does it for my throat anyway, so it's probably a good stopping point.
Excellent. Well, by the way, you are currently standing on a rather dark pool of blood that has been dried. So, there's that.
Lovely. Alright then. I will see you Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Alright. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, bye.